Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well today. So today's topic is going to be about reference photos. When is it okay to use reference photos? Is it okay to use photographs that you find on the internet? And if not, how do you spark the creativity that leads you to creating these works of art that you are making? There's a lot of different opinions on using reference photos and when it's okay and when it's not okay to use them. There are a lot of artists that think it's never okay to use them, that it sort of cripples your creativity when you're solely relying on a photo and trying to copy that image as much as possible onto your paper or your canvas. It sort of stunts your creative growth. I've read that a lot. I personally use reference photos for my art. Those of us who tend to paint realistically, it is really necessary to use photographs for our art. I think that it helps to make our art better. But the trick is to sort of twist what it is that you're looking at so that you can create something that is unique to you, that is solely your own. So what's the difference between a reference and using a reference photo or copying a photo to create a work of art? Well, there is a difference. So when you're using a reference photo, basically you're taking bits and pieces from that photograph that you're looking at in order to, it provides you with information that you need to accurately represent your subject. So you would take a look at, if you were creating, like, let's say a tiger, and you were wanting to paint a tiger or draw a tiger, you would use the reference photo to help you understand the bone structure of the tiger, how fur is created. Those types of things are cues that will help you to create better art. So you're looking at those things and you're in turn learning how to create something that looks realistic. When you are copying, what you're doing is you're essentially taking that photo and you are copying it. You are using every piece of information that you see in that photograph and you are copying it exactly as you see it, and so that you're trying to basically use that image and recreate it to make it look identical. So there is nothing wrong with using a photo to copy from if you are learning from it, if you are using it to learn how to do something. Look, we all got to start somewhere. I started my art career by copying. When I was little, all I did was trace and copy, and you're learning, you are imprinting all of these pieces of information onto your brain when you are copying. And copying is a great way to learn. It's a learning tool. It teaches you to be a better artist. So there's nothing wrong with copying when you are learning from it. What is wrong from copying is when you take someone else's work or another photographer's work and you recreate it as best you can to make it look exactly like what it is that you're seeing, and then you try to pass it off as your own. That is not okay. Using reference photos is mostly what artists rely on to help them create new pieces of art. So what do you do if you find a copyrighted photo, or if you find a work of art that you absolutely love and you want to use it for a piece of your own work, but you don't want to steal someone else's work? How can you take photos? How can you look at images and then turn them into your own works of art? Well, there are ways to do that, and I'm going to share with you some of those ways. So the first thing that I would recommend is, if you see a subject that you like, if you see a photo that you like and there is something within that photo that you want to duplicate, take that subject, search for it on the internet, and find different angles of that subject, find different photographs of that subject, and then use all of those reference photos together to create your own unique work of art. Let's say you want to paint a giraffe. You like a particular portrait of a giraffe looking front on to the camera, and you see that an artist has already done that, but you really like that look. So you would search for giraffe portrait online, and I'm sure dozens will probably come up, and then you would just choose 3 or 4 or 5 different ones, and then that way you sort of combine them all together and you can make your own. The second thing I would recommend is to take an image and reverse it. Like that would be like a mirror image. You take the image and you flip it. And when you do that, it really does change the look of the work. It changes the way the shadows are going. It does fool the eye into making you think that it is something completely different. I don't like solely relying on this because it may fool the eye for like a second, but if you see that someone else has created something and you're just flipping the image and painting the mirror image of it, that does not take very long for people to figure out that it's still not an original piece. If you're just flipping the image, you need to do more with that. You know, use different colors, use a different background, use your opposite hand. I have done that too. That really, really works. You may get a little nervous initially, like, well, I'm not left hand dominant. Why would I want to ruin my painting by doing that? But if you are trying to challenge yourself into painting a more loose style, just by doing that in certain sections of your painting can really make it look very, very unique. So that is another tip I have to make things unique to you. And the third thing I would recommend is take your own images. Images that you take, if they're yours, you can do whatever you want with them. And everybody has a camera on their phone now. Have your camera ready and take images of everything that you see, everything that inspires you wherever you go, and just have a folder for reference photos. That's what I do. When I paint any of my animals, my wildlife, my landscapes, I use my reference folder first, and maybe I like 2 or 3 different things from different photographs, and then I will create one unique painting from 3 or 4 different images that I have taken. If you need reference photos and you don't want to have to worry about infringement, copyright infringement, I'll have a link to all the ones that I use below. They are out there. There are people who are very generous with their time, generous with their talents, and they offer up their photographs for free for artists to use. So make sure you check out the description box below. I will have links to all of those places down there. But the one thing that I wanted to mention to you before I finish this video is the last thing, which is use a photo editing software either on your phone or on your desktop or laptop. There are lots of free photo editing softwares out there. You can put images in, you can use different filters. There are photo editing softwares now that will take faces and elongate them. You can change the color of the skin, of the eyes, of the hair. You can do all sorts of things now to make artwork that is solely yours and that no one else will have. So really, there is no need for you to have to worry about copying other people's work and then getting into trouble for it or being called out on it. That is the worst thing in the world, when someone says, oh, that looks a lot like so-and-so's work. And then no one wants to have that kind of following them around, that you're recreating other people's work. So you don't really have to do that. There are many ways for you to use photos to make things that are unique to you. So I hope this video has sort of helped you understand how to use reference photos. Please do check out the box below if you need reference photos to make your own beautiful works of art. And thank you for watching today. I hope you are all well. Please be safe, and I will see you in the next video.